Y esta es la chica sexy.
Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica me para el ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica me sube el ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica nació con ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica inventó este ritmo. Tubo, tubo, ea, ea, tubo, 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 ea, ea, chica sexy, mamá. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica nació con ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica inventó este ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica me para el ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica me sube el ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica nació con ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica inventó este ritmo. Tubo, tubo, ea, ea, tubo, 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 ea, ea, chica sexy, mamá. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica nació con ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica inventó este ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica nació con ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica inventó este ritmo. Tubo, tubo, ea, ea, tubo, 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 ea, ea, chica sexy, mamá. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica nació con ritmo. Y la chica se mueve sexy, y la chica se mueve rico. Esa chica se mueve suave, esa chica inventó este ritmo.
Feliz Cinco de Mayo, or Happy Cinco de Mayo for those of us who don't speak Spanish. I took 4 semesters in college. That's about the extent of it. So, this is a special episode. I mean, this is the first Cinco de Mayo episode for sure. But also, it's the first episode in a couple of weeks for all of us. So, welcome everyone who's joining us in the chat. Noah, Jake, Skills, thank you guys for being here. It's who I've seen so far. If you are here, give us a shout out in the chat. We will call you out, and there may be some activities later where you can get involved. So, to start out, gentlemen, I think it's only fitting. What is your go-to order at a Mexican restaurant? Don't rush now.
Does it look like I'm wearing this sombrero?
Sort of. Yeah.
All right, getting a little bit of
further up.
getting my drink ready here because it is Cinco de Mayo, and I'm carrying the weight of 3 today. So,
Wait a second. Hang on a second. Ryan,
Yeah.
was that what I thought it was?
It's a Arnold Palmer, 0-calorie Arnold Palmer, Arizona iced tea.
No, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
it is.
That looks like a Miller Lite.
Don't you worry about
I'll be right back.
it. We got Colin to leave set.
While we're waiting,
You guys
Jack's
are so
Mexican?
silly.
You got Miller Lite too?
Cheers.
Oh, jealous. Cheers.
Cheers, mi
That
amigo.
Cece.
So, back to our question before Colin, had to get some libations. My
Yeah.
go-to Mexican dish is a margarita, but if
On
I'm
a
actually
plate.
having food, back in my home Mexican restaurant, we had like what we call a Jalisco special. It's seen a lot of different places in like versions, but it's one of those like hot mixes. Oh, no, I wouldn't call it a fajita, but it's got the steak, the shrimp, the chicken all mixed in with peppers and onions and rice. I know it goes by a bunch of different names other places.
That sounds like it's right up
Nice.
my alley. It's hard to find that combination. I know what you're talking about. That's the perfect combination. But on the menu, we went to Mexican tonight. We live right down the road from a Mexican restaurant. You guys know this.
Like literally, you could throw a rock and hit it.
I love
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah. I can't because I'm an awful quarterback. We all know that by now after this week, right? But
I wasn't gonna say anything.
anyways, my go-to is it's called rice Texana. And Texana is just Mexican for all the meats. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Nope.
It's oh my, Derek's scaring me. Anyways, it's a bed of rice with chicken and steak and shrimp, and it's covered in cheese sauce. That's all it is. It's delicious.
So my go-to, I have two things. One, you guys probably wouldn't know, but I know Derek and I have been to Mexican a few times. I'm a big bean burrito fan.
I was going to say 2 bean burritos
yeah.
is all I've ever seen you order.
That's
A bean burrito, 2
That's-
bean burritos, and also I will still order a side of rice and beans. I think it's funny because like people think that's a gassy thing. I have no problem with it, but you give me a piece of bread and I'm just blasting all over the place. It's just bizarre. But I also like steak fajitas or chicken fajitas, especially if they're sizzling when they come out. That is another go-to of mine. I just don't tend to order that because a lot of places don't do it right. So,
and it's
but if I know a place
expensive.
it is, but if I know a
Lunch
place that does
fajitas
it
is where it's
right,
at.
Yeah.
Because
No,
good
yeah,
portion still
definitely.
fajitas.
Now,
Gotcha.
Jake,
Definitely.
I didn't want to bring this up, but since Jake decided to say
It's
nachos, that is the biggest waste of an order at a Mexican restaurant, in my opinion. There's Derek. Derek's gone to the Mexican restaurant. He's out of here. There he is. He's back. You get nachos for free. So you're filling up on nachos, and then you're just going to order more nachos with stuff on it. I just think that's silly. I would rather order my food and then take my nachos that I'm getting an unlimited refill on and scoop up the rest of my stuff with it. That way you're getting nachos with every meal.
The kid is
Get
winning.
that. Look at that.
Educational.
I had nachos for dinner tonight, but I made them at home.
Okay. Very good.
I had sushi, not a Mexican dish by any means.
I would like to see some Mexican sushi. That could be fun. Maybe we should open a restaurant selling Mexican sushi.
We'll just table that one. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about it later. Anyways. Oh, I forgot to throw this up.
Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, happy Cinco. de
First
Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo episode, hopefully not the last.
It won't be.
Always a great time to celebrate. So, where do we go from here, Colin?
Well, I think it's time for us to take a step back in time a little bit to talk about some things that we talked about last time. I can't pronounce that.
Máquina del Tiempo de Tacos.
Taco time machine,
That's
baby.
exactly what it is.
So,
Yeah,
you want me to
you're the
take this
record
one? Or you
keeper.
want to lead
Yeah,
it?
Mr.
All right,
Record
I do
Keeper.
have the records. So, for those, I know it's been a few weeks, almost a month now, that we were last on here. But on that episode, we did a little segment called Bet on It. And in that episode, we each made a wager based on 3 teams' final performance. Obviously, we wanted to keep each other accountable, so we
Mm-mm.
Got rid of that guy.
frozen.
Derek's having some technical
You're good,
difficulties.
Derek. Go ahead.
He's back.
Yep, I caught myself. I realized I wasn't moving. So I'll try to speed it up in case I freeze again. But nonetheless, recap to hold ourselves accountable, to make sure that we we made wagers based on where we think people will finish the year. And with 1 week out, we figured there's no better time to remind the audience and each other what we wagered. So we have Ryan, who drew Jamaica Hummingbirds.
Yep.
In the segment, he bet they would go over. They'd have over a 6-6 record. He bet they would have over a 6-6 record, and if they did not meet that, then he would be wearing a tube top in one of our episodes.
Yes, yes, yes. And where do we
And
stand
there's
right
no
now, Mr. Record
way.
Keeper?
Currently, they are
There's
sitting
no
at 5
way.
and 6.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now
Hey,
it's
joke's on
important.
you.
It's
I
important
am
for the
not going to
audience.
look good in a tube top.
It's important for the audience to know because this is actually viable for all 3 of us. We're playing by Vegas rules if they meet, if they don't get over or under. So if they hit the 6-6 record, it's null and void. It's a push. Nothing happens.
Yeah, that's fair.
For me, I had drawn the Kansas City Cyclones, and I had wagered that they would win less than 5 games, and they currently sit at 4-7.
So you're good.
So I am good. I could push or I win.
Which either way,
Yeah, either way, nothing happens.
you don't have to do anything crazy.
It's not super exciting for the crowd, but super exciting for us.
Yeah.
And then Colin drew the Federals. A little brotherly love here, and we set the bar at 6-6, and he said they would have over 6 wins. And currently, they sit at 6-5.
we're
So
good.
you're good. You can. So the only one who could really suffer consequences is Ryan. He is putting all his hope into Mr. Andrews and the Hummingbirds.
That's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
That's way more exciting. Aren't things way more exciting when you've got a bet on the line? Oh yeah. I'd love to see Ryan in a tube top. I can't even
zoom out on his camera. Make sure you get the whole picture for the thing.
I can't even imagine what it would look like. Huh.
I'm taping them together, so I got a lot of cleavage going on.
Well, you wouldn't be able to see it. It's a tube top, right?
Well, tube top
I'll
is just
pop it
right
out the
here.
top, brother.
No, tube top's just right
I was
here.
thinking
So you're gonna-
turtleneck.
No, tube top is just the one thing of fabric right
What
here
is
over
so
the boobies.
risque about wearing
So-
a turtleneck?
so-
Well, I didn't know
He's
this
gonna
was
have-
risque. I just thought it was
No,
ridiculous.
so he's gonna have the whole belly out and all the cleavage up here. It's
I
just
see.
one thing of fabric.
Yeah, you're gonna look so. That's way worse. This is so much better.
That was the point. Like, I'm in, man. Like, I'll make a bet, and I will embarrass myself if it's appropriate. So
I'm just glad I don't have to buy any Charleston gear. So
Well, I mean, it might be.
oh, don't worry, no one has. Right, Nolan?
So, well, grab your tacos, and we're heading back to the next episode or the next thing here. Ryan, would you mind pronouncing this?
You got it. Están jodidos, which means, are they screwed?
Can
This
you
is my
elaborate?
segment. So we were going to choose a team, and playoffs, are just less than 2 weeks away at this point. And we have some teams here who are going to be pretty obvious. Other teams, are they screwed for the playoffs? And ultimately, to really, make a dent and make an impact in the playoffs.
Yeah, and we might need Jake's help here. He's been doing a lot of research to decide where people are seated and stuff like that. But we just want to get the wheel out and give her a spin.
That's fine. Give her a spin.
Watch your face, Ryan.
Yes, Montreal has sold the most merch. Check it, baby. Montreal versus everyone.
Oh. Oh! That was almost us. All right, Salt Lake. So.
Oh, the Salt Lake City Vipers, they are not screwed in
No.
any way, shape, or form. 9-2 record. I don't know how many people would have really thought of that at the beginning of the season, knowing there's a shake 'em up, add ownership there. They are doing quite well. Derek is playing Pac-Man. No, there's no chance there. That was an easy one. So let's try to give that.
They're the
again.
scariest team in the Pacific.
I mean, they're gonna even in the playoffs, they're gonna get paired against a low seed, and any given day of the week, you can be beat. But I just don't see.
No, they're the ones doing the screwing, aren't they?
Yeah,
the Vipers will strike.
They are the donkey in the donkey show. You ever been to Mexican donkey show?
I feel like the lady in the donkey show is getting it worse.
Ooh.
Steamers with their new quarterback.
That is true, but this is an area like nobody here in this division or this conference is over 500.
This is 5-6.
5-6 is the best record. So Jamaica and Louisiana are tied in first place here. Are they screwed? Maybe not, but it's definitely not looking great. Somebody's got to win this division to move on.
How would you see? Look in your DMs.
Yeah,
you see that.
And I think looking at Louisiana, and now they do have a new quarterback in TD Hardvixen. I do think they could pull it off and get to 6-6. And albeit as much as I hate it, I might wind up wearing a tube top next week if the Hummingbirds can't at least match 6-6 and fall to 5-7. So they're not screwed, but it is really, really thin ice there for the Steamers, and it's ironic because in Louisiana they don't get a lot of ice. So,
who does Louisiana even have? They have Kansas City. City,
right? Okay. And that it's been volatile throughout the year, so who knows what could happen. Division rivalry.
What's your thoughts, Derek?
Yeah, it's a rough one. I wouldn't say they're fully screwed. Maybe right now it's like the tip just chilling, but like it could get rough for them. It's a coin flip. Do I see them going far into the playoffs? Because I mean, if they keep leading the division, they'll get in. I don't really see them going far at this rate. Being again, they're leading their division at 5-6. That's a tough ask. But again, we've seen crazier things.
Yeah, they are leading the division right now, which would mean that if they do beat Kansas City, they will be going in as the number 2 seed with home field advantage in the playoffs. But they could easily lose.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be one of the bigger upsets in the playoff bracket. So I haven't seen a lot from Frank Wade, the owner of the Steamers, and I have a feeling that if he's not paying attention, he's going to get screwed. That's my thought. You guys want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Pronounce it again for us, Ryan.
Están jodidos.
It sounds so good when you say it.
Thanks.
Let me try. Están jodidos.
That's right, buddy.
West Virginia Spanish, or
sounds like
West Virginia
a
Mexican.
kind of knockoff Doritos. To me, wrong thing. Okay,
Oh my!
here we go. Last one. Oh,
They're
Boston
good.
Whales.
They're fine.
let's do one more.
But
You have something to say about this?
I would say they're in a tough division. Like it's the opposite of the Pacific.
Yeah,
West.
but right now their big whale dongs are just flopping all over everyone
Dude.
because they are just
That big whale
making.
dong smacked us in the face, didn't it?
Oh, I was watching.
That's true
I
though, but
know.
they are. I will say this: we could choose another one by all means. I don't want to take up too much time, but they are in danger because Montreal has the better division record at 4-1, so clearly are the first seed there. Pottsville and Boston tied at 8-3 overall, 3-2 in the division. So do they like? And I have to look here honestly to see who do they play here.
I think they've got New Haven.
They do have New Haven,
It's
so okay.
it's a gimme. It's a gimme.
It can be, but at the same time, wouldn't New Haven like to upset somebody in that top tier of that division?
New Haven would just like to win a game this season.
Win 2 games. They've won a game.
Yeah.
So
Boston's
2 games,
playing
doubling it up.
super well this season.
They
I
are.
think I know why too. I think we talked about it.
Is it
Steroids.
the Italian sausage?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, don't forgive me. Yeah, Skills did a great job drafting that team in the fantasy draft, but there's something
Yeah.
special about that man.
Memphis
Here's a-
Tribe.
Here's a good
Ooh.
team to talk about. We've not talked about them in a
Talk
while.
about that one.
This is a good team to talk about. This is a
So
team.
we talked about a
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, we talked about a really good division in the Atlantic East. We talked about a really, really rough division in the Pacific West. And I think that Atlantic South is, bottom 2 in the divisions. But the Tribe sitting at 6-5, tied with the Charleston Federals, both in total wins and losses and division wins and losses. I think that the Memphis Tribe is not screwed. I think they will get out of it with a playoff spot coming out of the South. I don't really see much more to argue on that. So
Yeah, they're getting a playoff spot, no doubt about it. But they've recently had an announcement. Previous owner DB is stepping down as owner and handing the keys over to new ownership. And I mean, doing that right before the end of the season. So this team is left with a playbook that may or may not be adjusted. And the Atlantic South has struggled. I mean, the leading teams are 6-5 right now.
and one thing I will say about that, props to DB. He's been a phenomenal owner for a number of seasons, so I never want to cut him down. But you got to wonder, hopefully everything's okay there to do at this late in the season. I wish him nothing but the best, but it does, like you said, set some things in some uneasy territory there for the rest of, the last week and then going into the playoffs, hopefully for them. So
Yeah. I think that the Atlantic East is so full of teams that, for lack of better words, got their shit together. And if they get paired up against a team like that, I think they're going to find themselves screwed in the playoffs.
it's going to be a rough ride for sure.
All right. That was
I
a good
concur.
one. Okay, let's move on to the next one here. Más profundo, por favor. Deeper, please.
Ah,
As we bring up the random wheel once again, and we talk now about how well we think some of these teams will be doing when they make it to the playoffs. So if we pick a team that has been out of the playoffs, oh no, this team's good. This team's a good one.
Maybe.
Okay. Ooh. Who wants to talk first?
is this the team from last night? Because
Shh, did you watch that game?
it depends what shows up.
I would like to
guess.
talk about that since I helped to call that game with you, Colin. If the Green Bay Wolfpack of last night show up, there's no chance in heck they get past the first round. But I think it's interesting. They're trying some different things. A very, very predominantly pass-heavy team to the point there was really no running game unless for a QB sneak once in a while. With Cade Smith at running back, they showed some different formations. So head coach Liam Hammer, I think, may have some tricks up his sleeve to really put defenses in the playoffs on their toes. So I'd say they could at least make it to the second round here. But I think once they show their hand, it's over.
Derek?
I didn't watch the full game last night, but I got the highlight package, and I know it wasn't great. But I know they can be great, and that's the. This is I won't say full wild card, but this, I think second even third round. How many teams? Because there's 8.
There's
Trying
6
to do math.
teams on each side, so
6 teams on each side, so it would be down to 3 then. I'd go similar to Ryan. Because right now I'm not seeing the bracket in my head to see how far they can go. I'm going to be honest.
well, I'm
Might
gonna
be the tequila.
tell you about the bracket a little bit here. I'm looking at some
Well,
insider
I don't see the
information from
numbers
Jake.
of
Yeah,
how.
that's what I
just
want to
don't
talk
see how
about
it
here.
breaks down.
So it's safe to say Salt Lake's going to win number 1 in Pacific North. Louisiana or Jamaica is going to win Pacific West, which basically leaves Des Moines as number 3 seed, Green Bay as number 4 seed, which means more than likely we will get a rematch. Wolfpack at Des Moines.
Oof.
How do you feel about that?
Rough one. After last night,
mean,
After last night,
we're
we're not feeling good about
It's
it.
there's an adage in sports, especially in division games. It's easy, it's you plan to beat someone once or twice. It's hard to beat someone 3 times.
Yeah.
That's
I don't,
true.
I don't know
That's
how it
true.
breaks down. That is their
As a
third time
Steelers
playing,
fan-
and anything goes out the window.
Yep.
It's
So-
true. As a Steelers fan, the Ravens and Steelers played twice a season, and that playoff game usually we wound up being in with them. It was a toss-up.
Wolfpack
So,
is either going
that's
to
really
lose
true.
first round or they're going to make it all the way to Gin Bowl.
See that?
And they have a history of doing great in the Gen Bowl.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see much light at the end of the tunnel for Green Bay, but that's just me. So
There are stronger teams out there. I think that's fair
Jake
to say.
said at Green Bay in the wild card.
okay. All right. Let's do another.
Still, I think they win that first round game for sure, and then things get hairy. Some might say this is planned. I mean,
Who this?
I don't think you can go any deeper than this team.
I hope so. We got a big game on our hands this upcoming week, guys. I don't know if you know this, but I've been putting in a hell of a lot of work to try to figure out Pottsville. Because this is for the number 1 seed.
Oh, I'm aware. This is a game changer right here. This game. There's a reason why it should be game of the week. So if you haven't cast your vote, go do that.
Oh
now.
man, it was like 17.
playoff
already.
Yeah.
There's
It shot
playoff
up
implications
at the very
to this
beginning.
one.
I mean, we're all biased. We think
Oh,
Montreal has a chance to win it all. We always feel that way. But ask me again after this week.
I'll be unbiased if you want me to.
Go ahead, be unbiased. Can you?
As much as I could be unbiased. But, I think that the last game of the season is probably one of the hardest ones against the Maroons. And I think I would have eaten my words, from a couple of years ago when the Maroons were not nearly as strong of a contender as they are now. But, props to Dave Barr and the team to get things to where they are this season. So, with that being said, we're both at 8-3 here, obviously. So is Boston, but we do have the tiebreaker in the division, only being 4-1. I think if we are smart and careful, as in previous games this season and others, I think we can come out on top and ultimately be 9-3 to finish out the season, which is second best to Salt Lake, or possibly tied with Salt Lake, depending on how they do this season. So, I think we have a chance to go all the way. It's just a matter of our QB and receiver core being in step with each other to prevent interceptions. And but I think that's definitely preventable. We have the defense also to make up for it too. So
This team, and this is all honesty, and we've talked about it. This team goes as far as newly acquired quarterback Colin Pierce takes us.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want it any other way. We've waited this long to get him. When he's doing what he does, and he's not throwing the turnovers, his team's near impossible to beat. But when he throws interceptions, he throws them in bunches.
When he throws
Like-
one, he throws 100. Yeah, it's
Yeah, he's not throwing just one. He's throwing at least 3. These things come in groups, which is, it's something that Montreal should be aware of and should be able to plan for, and hopefully the defense can hold. But man, I am confident in the work that our fabulous owner Colin Pierce has put in.
dilly.
Yep, and if when we make it to the playoffs, despite no matter what it is, I am confident this team will go make a deep run.
Yeah, it would be
I've
nice
got
to have
another-
home field advantage.
I've got another bottle of champagne ready to pop. That's all I'm saying.
It's about a year old at this point, a season old, isn't it?
Aged to perfection.
It's
Well, I think it's fair to say, the Berserkers have been in the league a full season, won the Gen Bowl, partial season last season, got second place to Victoria, and then this season now making another strong showing. So definitely not a team to count out to make it, and go to the long, carry it through to the long haul there. So
let's do one more of these. Either one's going to be a good one.
Ooh.
Federals.
Charleston Federals.
Yeah, I mean, it's teams up and down. We've seen them spank people.
Yeah.
Then we've also seen them
Get
fall.
spanked.
Well, they've beat us once.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't forget. I know.
We've been spanked by that hand.
Yeah.
They're hot and they're cold. They're yes and they're no. They're
Katy Perry, one of the best songstresses of our time.
Yeah. Some call her the songbird of our generation.
I would say that.
I know that they've got a big week coming up. If they win, they have a chance to grab the number 2 seed and home field advantage all the way through the quarterfinals. So I know Nolan's talked about that, but big loss to Miami at home this past week. So he's got some work to do.
Who do they play next week?
Let me look.
They play Detroit. We talked about it a little earlier. Yeah,
They play Detroit, who has been playing much, much better.
No, facts.
New ownership.
It's not a gimme.
Change in the locker room.
This is one of those.
Very true.
If we were to
It's a
relate
trap
this
game.
to
It's what we
golf,
call a trap game.
this is that 5-foot putt that we should make. But if we're not careful, we're gonna miss.
It's a triple bogey. Yeah.
It's a triple
We've all been there.
yeah, too many times. So
For sure.
I think Charleston is going to go at least second round this season, or at least I hope so.
I agree.
All right. Let's go ahead and go to our favorite segment. Derek, how do you say that?
Costco. Costco Timas Condentes.
Costco. Like the shopping place?
Ryan, how would you say this in old Espanol?
Casco temas candentes.
And for those who don't speak Spanish, Helmet Hot Topics, baby.
Show us that helmet again.
Oh. This is vintage.
Retro
Berserker
Berserkers
memorabilia.
logo.
Ooh.
Yeah, vintage, if you will.
May or may not have been stolen from a yoga studio. Yoga. I'm in my Spanish mode right now. Sorry.
Pogo.
So I themed some of the questions in this helmet for today specifically. Interesting one to start with. This could get dark. Who in the WFA would make the best cartel hitman?
Oh,
I have
man.
one for that. If I
Go ahead,
may.
bro. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Skills here. I think it's kind of interesting. We only ever see like from here down. He's laying in bed. You don't see his surroundings. I don't know much about him. I think he might just be running an operation from his laptop. I'd say Cartel Hitman. Definitely going to Skills here, in my opinion.
Oh, that could be a good one. He is. I've seen him stand up one time, and it was intimidating and terrifying.
Big man.
So, yeah, big man.
That
Just
can
a man
come
you
into
don't
play
want knocking on your
if you're
door.
a Cartel Hitman. Yeah.
I
this
mean-
is hard.
I'm going on someone who we all know well. Ryan Roosevelt.
What?
I mean, think about it. He does make frequent trips out to the desert. He would know where to bury a body out there. And come to find out, due to weather, the lake near Las Vegas has been at all-time low, and currently they're finding bodies in drums.
Really?
Coincidence? I don't know, but
Oh wow.
I'm just saying, inconspicuous. Travels near to the kind of close to a border town, closer to the border on a regular basis. I'm just saying, could be right now.
I'm gonna say, with all due respect, Commissioner Noah.
Oh,
I think Mr. Noah knows how to get business done, and he puts on a super nice face, but he ain't afraid to bust a cap. Wouldn't blink an eye. Wouldn't blink an eye.
Like young Justin Bieber versus older Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
cold-hearted killer.
Neck tattoos, ready to choke somebody.
Yeah. I think he would do whatever it takes. That's a good question.
Love it.
Was that a fan submission or was that yours?
Nope. I ain't got any this week, so I themed him to
That's fair.
Cinco de Mayo, kind of.
Mexican cartel.
On a friendlier side of the border. All right. Without thinking, gut reaction, without putting too much thought in. 2 other WFA members, pick them now to form a mariachi band with. Who you getting in this band with?
Oh shoot. Dar and Chad Rowland.
Ooh!
We'd have a blast.
I want Nolan and Jake. I think we'd be delightful.
While you answer this question, let's
I got Zach and Logan all day, man.
That's Dar and Chad right there chanting.
Apparently, do you see the chat here?
Listen. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Not a witness.
Yep. So Ryan, who you putting in? Oh, you said who you're putting.
I said Zach and Logan.
Oh, Logan. Oh no, that is a quality mariachi
I feel like
band.
those guys know how to blow some brass.
All right. Kind of similar to what we talked about earlier, and I want to see if it's the same. So when you asked that question, I was like, ooh, this kind of might ruin one of the helmet hot topics if it gets pulled. Now, all bowel movements and stomach pains aside, if you could only eat one Mexican food for the rest of your life, like this is the only thing you can consume for the rest of forever, what are you eating?
If you say bean burrito, I'm slapping you through this computer.
Like, the only thing you can eat is a Mexican food. Which dish you're picking?
Your computer can't handle my computer. I have one. Go ahead, Colin. You can go first.
Is margarita still an answer?
It can be. And see, and I'm going tacos,
That's
but
the
very
best answer.
non-specific.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good one.
See, I'm
All
going chicken
tacos.
chicken tacos, shredded chicken tacos. I could eat them all day.
I would get so annoyed eating those every day. They never stay together. I'd have tacos everywhere in my house if I ate tacos every
Eating
day.
them like while climbing a ladder.
You tell me you
Or-
never ordered a taco,
while
a crunchy
driving?
taco from Taco Bell, and you eat it in the car. You're telling me you don't have at least a dozen cheese bits in your crotch when you're
Who
done?
eats crunchy
Are you-
tacos? You know what you signed up for.
Everything you eat at Taco Bell is nice and soft and wrapped in a tortilla, so you do get a crunchy taco on the side to break up the monotony. It's not that big a deal.
You
I
do
agree.
not do that. And if you do, you have no right to complain. Soft shells exist for a reason. That's all I gotta say.
I say margarita. I think I would.
That's fair.
I wish you didn't say that because it would have been mine. And you'll find out in Vegas, my friend.
No, you'll find
We
out
always
in Vegas.
need to be in the haze.
All right, and the final one. This is a single individual. Another who out of the WFA? Who would you most like to get stranded with in Mexico at a bar doing tequila shots? Highly specific. And in my head, when I wrote this, I just see that cinematic just picture at a restaurant at a Mexican bar, like dirt floor, chilling at the bar, just shooting tequila shots with some guy passed out over there, like tumbleweeds rolling by. I just feel like it'd be a great time.
Just you
Say
guys.
tequila shots. I think Colin Pierce because
I mean, yeah.
Colin's always the one to buy tequila shots, even if it is the whatever the cheapest is. But I will go a different direction because I feel like this is the obvious answer. I'm gonna say Liam Hammer because I feel like
Ooh.
Liam Hammer would be the guy on the dirt floor if you give him one or two. Not
What?
many, just one or two. And so I'm all down for that. I think that'd be funny as hell.
I want Dave Barr. I think it'd be a blast.
Oh man,
Dude,
that
you
would
couldn't
be
hang with Dave
fun.
Barr, man.
I would love to see Dave Barr drunk.
In Mexico on tequila shots, it'd be a great time.
Yes.
Or in Mason and
Over,
Colin's
I've seen this
garage.
man eat a whole uncooked egg and not say anything about it.
Not a
So
thing.
drunk. So who knows? Ooh, Jake says Logan. That's a solid choice.
Hey, we have to say shell and all.
Smell it all. It was amazing. Ate the whole thing. He said, "Who ate the pepperoni roll with the egg?" I think I did. You think you did?
What a legend.
Oh man. I don't know. Nobody really comes to mind besides you guys. I think personally, we're gonna get a little sentimental here.
Oh, boy.
I know I already said his name once, but I think it would be great to sit down with Noah Underhill, commissioner of the league, buy him tequila
Well, I'm gonna
shots, and
Take
us
a
just
bathroom break.
set. What's my arm doing all the way over here by Ryan? I told him if he said bean burrito, I was gonna reach through and smack him in the face. Anyways, I want to drink with Noah.
It's fair.
So
He's a college kid. I'm sure he knows how to party.
I didn't,
Hey, you
but
made
now
it up
we're
for it.
learning.
You have.
Well, we don't want to leave everybody on their heels, but if you know what that means,
Anuncio!
if you know what that means,
Means there's a big announcement about to happen. Should we wait for Ryan?
yeah.
Ooh, Nolan said he's taking shots with quarterback Tyler Roush all day in Mexico. I mean, as long as you don't run from the Federale afterwards, you should be good.
Better all like. Let's see what we can do here in the meantime. Oh, he's here. He's back.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Cut the music.
Sorry. La Chica sexy.
It's time for the Grand Anuncio.
All right, I had to LP.
No problemo.
Thanks, man.
Ooh.
So we have been discussing putting something together that's not uncommon for the WFA, but we really want to commit to this now and make it public and really put on a good show for you guys. We want to put together a WFAN All-Star game. And
Yep.
in the coming week or two, we're going to put together a Google Doc and send it out with a list of options for each position. We are going to divide those into Atlantic and Pacific. And that way we have an Atlantic team, a Pacific team. And we're going to let the community vote on the starters for the game. Everywhere from specific positions to the coaches, even maybe to the announcers of the game. That could be fun. So whatever the league wants, the league gets. But this is going to take some brain power and some commitment and some planning. But if anybody can do it, we can. Can't wait.
WFAN. Yeah. All-Star game, All-Stars. We're putting it together. Again, we're going to give you options at every position. There's only, and I'll go ahead and talk about it so you're not surprised about it when you see it on the Google Doc. Talking with the guys, there's only one position where we will not be picking individual groups or individual people, which is the offensive line, just because it is so hard to determine and really pick offensive linemen. I'll be honest, we don't talk about them very much. So we're going to actually be picking a group of offensive linemen. So you're going to be picking a whole line. Every other position will be individually based and picked individually, but offensive line will be picking a group. You'll be picking based on maybe their performance throughout the year, as far as how many sacks they let up, how many rushing yards they allow to go forth, things like that. So you'll be picking an offensive line group rather than individuals.
It just made more sense that way.
But outside of that, we've got some special uniforms for the game.
They look good,
We're
too.
gonna let Colin's talking about letting when the coaches get voted in. Noah said he's building a Google Doc now. We were gonna do that, but if you want to help us,
Well, I talked to Noah a couple days ago,
Okay.
and we're going to give him the options, and he's going to put the Google Doc together because he
Perfect.
loves that shiz.
Well,
So,
we'll get it to him. We will get you the options. Yeah, Colin's worked up some sweet uniforms. We've talked about a lot about how it's going to go down, and we're kind of pumped about it.
yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So,
Mhm.
guys, you think we'll be doing another episode before Gin Bowl?
We have to. I have to wear my tube top.
Yeah, we do.
The Happies, maybe next episode.
Yeah, maybe.
The Happies maybe in the next 2 weeks or so.
That sounds good. Skip a week, then
Yeah.
the Happies. Let's plan on that.
Sure. Gives us some
Okay.
time to prepare. So,
Get
do you have
hype.
anything else left, Colin?
No,
No, sir.
it's a big announcement.
We've done
Because
it all.
I would like, in honor of Cinco de Mayo, I would like to offer up a special, I guess, in memoriam for this episode, if you will. Instead of an unofficial sponsor, although we all know that would be Taco Bell or Del Taco or Tacos Del Gordo, which is in Vegas. But the Taco Bell Chihuahua, actually named Gidget, died in 2009. So about 13 years ago. I know I'm still not over it myself. But I think we need to dedicate this episode to Gidget.
Pour one out
And,
for him, Derek. Pour one out for
Well, Derek
Gidget.
drank that all.
All right, on his laptop. It just stops working.
And there goes Derek. But yeah, so Gidget the Chihuahua was the Taco Bell dog, born in February 7th, 1994, and then died July 21st, 2009. So keep that in
15
mind
years.
as you celebrate your Cinco de Mayo. 15 years old. Small dogs live very long. But that was a great marketing thing for Taco Bell.
Yo, Keto Taco Bell, baby.
Yeah, I know. I had the stuffed one when they gave those out when you bought
Wow.
stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I
that's
think that's a
a downer, Ryan. Thanks for that.
Yeah, we were on such a high, and oh,
Go on. Finish what you were saying. Here, is this better?
And so I felt like it was nice to memorialize the dog who gave us so much joy back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Back before Doritos Locos Tacos.
That is definitely true. They've made some strides since then, but as far as marketing, I think not. Now I want Taco Bell. Damn it.
Well,
All right.
guys, thanks for enduring this once again. It can't be that much fun watching the WFAN, but we sure enjoy doing it. Guys, let's do this again in a couple weeks.
All right.
All right.
Let's
You
get
might
drunk.
see a less sexy side
Let's
of me.
get drunk. Let's
Hasta-
go.
Hasta luego.
There we go. Yeah, there you go.
Have a good evening.